I'm not a fan of how 4-point moves work currently. It isn't to say that I don't like 4-point takedowns, I actually really do. They make matches more exciting and reward greater risk with high amplitude moves. What I don't like are 4-point moves that aren't or don't result in takedowns. Let me explain what I mean more clearly. Take this clear 4-point move that Musayev hit on Masai. Musayev defends a shot, gets an underhook, goes for what looks like a tricep grip, and inside trips Musayev straight to his back for an extremely clean 4-point takedown. At the end of the move, Musayev has control over his opponent. It is a very clear and clean takedown. Or take the final exchange of Tastino versus Snyder at 2023 World Quarterfinals. Snyder has Tastadinov's leg in the air, but Tastadinov counter-rolls him straight to Snyder's back if it lands on top of him. This is a very clear 4-point feet-to-back takedown. Now, compare that one that Abakov hit on Izzetavade. In this one, Izzetavade has Abakov's leg up, but Akabov grabs Izzetavade's lat in one hand and wrist in the other and rolls into his back. Trouble is, Abakov hasn't freed his leg in any capacity, and so can't get his hips back, and so at the end of the move, Izzetavade has a much easier takedown finish than before. The result of this exchange? Red 4, as Abakov got a feet-to-back move, blue 1 for the reversal. Or take this sequence from Zilma vs. Burlava. Here, Zilma gets deep on a shot, but Burlava catches him and chest wraps him off the ground onto his back. But Zilma is in a vastly better position after the throw, as here's Burlava's legs and finishes the takedown. The score? 4 points blue for a feet-to-back move, and Zilma, for getting a takedown, gets only a 1-point reversal. Despite him ending up getting taken down, Burlava nets 3 points from this exchange. I'm not a fan of this sort of thing, but to explain why, I think I need to zoom out a bit, to talk about what wrestling is and what wrestling isn't. In my mind, and I think in the minds of most, wrestling is about two things: control and the domination that results from control. Takedowns, gut wrenches, and push-outs are, in my mind, ways of controlling and dominating an opponent. Control, thus, in my mind, is the core of the sport. Passivity calls go the way of the wrestlers controlling the action in the mat. Takedowns are getting your opponent in a position where they are being controlled. Pinning your opponent is keeping and controlling the opponent on their back when they can do nothing to harm you. It's really that simple. If you look at the inside trip in Masai vs. Masai, Masai had clear control of Masai at the end. Same with Tastino vs. Snyder, same with all other 4-point takedowns. They all end with control on the ground, taking them down and controlling them once they get there. But most 4-point non-takedowns don't end with control. Oftentimes, it puts their opponent in an advantageous position to get control over them. If you look at that move from earlier, Abakov does not get a takedown, as at no point does Abakov have any control of Izzetavade on the ground. Sure, he threw him to his back, but just because you throw someone doesn't mean you end up with control. After the throw, Izzetavade is clearly in a much better position, both compared to Abakov, who was awkwardly on his side with no way of getting up, but also compared to where he was earlier, where he only had a single leg. Now, all Izzetavade has to do to get the takedown is double up, and indeed he gets the free takedown. Looking back at the exchange between Zilma and Burlava, Zilma is in way too deep for Burlava to defend, and even though Zilma gets thrown, it's Zilma, not Burlava, that's in a vastly better position to get the takedown after the throw, and indeed he does. Like I said, I want to talk about what wrestling isn't. Wrestling is not about throwing opponents. Wrestling is not judo. In judo, the only thing that matters is the throw. It is a sport that focuses on the throw and the throw alone. It does not matter what position the judoka landed in after the throw, just that somebody got thrown and that person loses. But again, this is not judo, a sport about throwing. This is wrestling, a sport that is about controlling. Throws are good, they can have good results, but they are not the focus of the sport. The focus is control, and these moves don't result in control. Oftentimes, they result in the thrower giving away control, yet they result in a net point gain and a substantial one too. With all that said, my thoughts on how to change this are pretty simple. Feet-to-back takedowns should still be worth the 4 points that they already are, but feet-to-back moves that don't result in takedowns should just be worth the regular 2-point exposure. Any takedowns that may or may not follow should be worth the 2 points that takedowns normally are. Pretty simple. Strangely, UWW's previous rules in 2016 said that a 4-point move must end in control, so this was a deliberate shift by them for the updated 2020 and 2023 rule sets, which still stands. The only reason I can think of that they wanted more 4-point moves because bigger number is better, but in my mind, I think this is kind of mistaken, one that goes against the core of the sport. So yeah, that's my thoughts on a topic that literally nobody cares about. Like and sub if you want to see more, I guess. I don't know.